Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Create Expectations. If you have not watched part one, you know that it's on Zara's channel, and you can go and watch it, like, subscribe, leave a comment, all of the fun stuff, see what we are chatting about, and come back here for dessert.
Vanna White kept reoccurring because of you, I'm sure. It's your fault.
Vanna White brought up here as well. It's fine. It's fine. So we have a couple viewer questions that we can tackle before we get into the game and do
Very good.
the usual nonsense.
The huge.
Huge. I feel like this question is really well timed. So Herf was asking, what would it take to get Sarah interested in GAC or Zareth interested in Conquest or raids or territory wars, etc.?
I want to hear. Well, you can choose who answers first. I want to hear what you
Um,
say though first, so I'm letting you choose yourself.
So I find that this is very amusingly timed because I wasn't playing GAC last week since I forgot to join like a Dumby. Um, and I don't know, I genuinely don't know if it was that I'm just like getting excited again for GAC or if it was because I feel like I missed out last week and it was really weird to see everyone talking about their GAC matches and I was doing absolutely nothing. Um, but I'm excited for GAC this week. I applied 5 GAC Omicrons before lock.
Five
Like
GC ones.
5 GAC Omicrons.
Which ones did you apply, Sarah? Damn.
I did Seer lead, uh
One. I'm proving to everyone I can do math as well. One,
Seer lead, both of Malikos's uniques.
two, three,
Uh-huh. Treya and Savage.
four, five.
Yeah, 5 GAC Omicrons.
Hey, Canadian
Um,
school system at work.
man, that addition that you did there, real good math.
Good job. Yay. I asked my
Um,
boys if counting. Where's math, by the way?
please tell me they sided with me.
Well, it was funny because then my wife she was like, oh, well, that's what they're learning in kindergarten right now is how to count,
That's
and that's it,
math.
and that's in their math class. So she kind of sided with you, but then both of the boys were saying, no, we like algebra, and I thought that was funny because they know some portions of algebra, but it's not. They're just
And then you showed them
pretentious.
my algebra that I did in Discord the other day.
Just because it involves letters doesn't mean it's algebra, Sarah.
Anyway. But yeah, so I applied the 5 Omicrons. I like changed my defenses up. I made sure that everything had datacrons that could take datacrons. I was just like,
Wow,
yeah, I went
you're
to
on it.
town. I was on it. I was like, I'm gonna do this now. I made sure I like double checked. I ran the compare in Hotbot for the first time and I don't even know how long, but
Wow.
it's been a while. It's been a minute since I ran that. I looked at my opponent's defense history and what he does on attacks and yeah, I was just like, all right. Um I'm ready.
I guess you are. Wow.
So I don't know if I just needed like the extra week off and then experiencing being like the only one left out kind of thing. Um, we'll see how long this lasts.
We will see that, yes.
What's the over under?
A match or two. I think this week you're gonna feel awesome because you're gonna bludgeon the hell out of some hapless noobs.
I did
You'll
fall
you'll be
really
in
hard.
you're gonna be in Well, you're in Kyber 3, and you could totally stay in Kyber 2 if you wanted to. You're a good enough player, and you have a big enough account. You could stay in Kyber 2 if you cared enough about 3v3 and stuff. Which, and that's fine. It's not a condemnation. It's just I'm convinced you could, if you really wanted to, stay in Kyber 2. And so Kyber 3 opponents, especially in 5v5, where you give a little bit more of a damn, I think you're just you're gonna wreck face for at least 1 week. I bet 2 weeks though. So maybe it'll take till 3v3 comes to dampen your spirits.
Right, and then I'll just forget to join.
That'll be fun.
All right. What would it take for you to be interested in all
Hold
these
on.
other things?
I want to hear. So is that all it is?
Oh,
It's just sometimes you fear of missing out is the only way you could enjoy GAC. What would it take?
I think if I feel like it also just takes so much time to do GAC well.
I
Like
can. Sure.
to like really look at your opponent, figure out what you want to do. Say you want to change your defense every time, or like tweak things every time, and then plan your attacks and make sure everything is going according to plan. I feel like it could take a lot of time, and I think if it didn't take as much time as it does, I would probably be more interested in it. It also, so there is the time aspect, but then, and this kind of just goes hand in hand with everything. There's also just so much to do in game all the time. It doesn't ever really feel like there is an off week per se, even though we get like a GAC off week. It's not really an off week because we're doing other things,
Sure. That's Hell Week, in fact. Yeah.
right. Like we've got Conquest, we've got territory battles, like everything's going on that it doesn't feel like you can focus on everything and give every game mode your best effort, so to speak, or I don't know, all of your attention without feeling like you're in the game 24/7.
Yeah, you're right. GAC is the thing a lot of people look at to kind of trim down if it looks like a really tough match that they're not really that interested in facing someone who's way above where they perceive their station is. Then people just say, "Oh, get my 10 banners and we'll pick it up next match."
Right.
And I get that. I can understand that. I mean, GAC is the reason I play the game, so that's not really me, but I can understand that. That's honestly how I approach a lot of other game modes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think everyone does that, right? I feel like you just
Sure.
have to stay sane.
I will say this: even I have dropped a lot of the time I spend on GAC. I don't scout my opponents, even on my main account, even when I'm in the top 50. I won't say I never do. Sometimes I do. What I've discovered is my win rate doesn't change
Right.
if I scout or if I don't. And some of the most bizarre conversations I have with people are when people scout and then they get mad when their opponents have changed their defenses, and they
Right.
say things like, "Well, if you can't count on what they're going to take on defense, then what's the point?" No one's making you do that, man. Just take what you need to be able to beat any opponent. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But I just don't scout. I can't do it because the level of granularity you have to get into to truly get something really conclusive and strong against your opponent. Sometimes it's fun to see it in action, but it also just opens yourself to this really awful feeling of I scouted my opponent for 2 hours last night,
Right.
and he one shot my board and destroyed me.
Right. That's
And that's 2 hours that you don't even get crystals for.
Yeah. I will say, believe it or not, I enjoy GAC more than Territory War.
I can see that.
Just because I feel like Territory War, you have so much pressure from your guild. And I don't love that feeling.
Yeah, everyone's just waiting for you to slip up to say, "Hey,
Right.
Why can't you contribute? And you say, because I don't care about this that much.
basically. But also like in GAC, if I slip up, it's completely on me, which is fine. It doesn't affect anybody else. And then
Yeah.
if I hit the point where I know I can't win, then I can call it, right? Then I can be like,
Yeah.
okay, there's no point me banging my head against the wall anymore because I don't need to see what's in the back zone because I don't care that much.
No, absolutely. I agree with that. I mean, it's tough for me when cause I stream all my matches unless I'm,
Right.
rarely is the time that I don't stream all my matches, and so I don't really have that ability. Everyone just gets to see my abject failure, regardless.
But I also feel like it's a little bit different for you because yes, you're streaming it and then you keep going, but it's also like a well, will this work type of thing.
Sure. Well, it is just totally different. I always say that my GAC experience is different than everyone else's to some degree.
Hmm.
Though ever since I changed my name in game,
Hmm.
even though there are some people who recognize it, there's so many people who just don't because they don't watch my videos, and that's fine. They don't have to.
Uh,
But usually only the people who wish me well are the ones who are watching my videos and know that my name.
has
That no,
changed.
no, yeah. And the people
Hmm.
who don't like me, who don't watch my videos, who would potentially watch the stream first and then attack. Those are the people who just have no idea it's me, so they don't realize there's a
Yeah, they don't realize
that's
what's going on.
that's helped me mentally a lot, anyways. Even though there's holes in it, but well, let's move on. For me to get into territory wars,
Hmm.
so I guess the thing that I wanted to share with a lot of people, because people make this big fuss over it. I'll send a screenshot to someone and someone will be like, "Oh my gosh, does Zareth have a territory war Omicron?" And they make this big deal of it, and of course I do. I'm not that my guild is crazy successful in territory wars, really, or not that that's our main focus, but why? First off, if I ever wanted to change guilds, which I don't, I'm happy with Husky Patrol. But if I ever wanted to join a more competitive guild, I can't just suddenly make up the absence of 8 to 10 territory war Omicrons.
Right.
I would still have some ground to make up, I'm sure, but also they are part of the. It's important to remember that those Omicrons are they change the dynamics a lot, and I need to be able to speak to it anyways, to be able to say, at least functionally, I know what this does.
Right.
In theory, this is what it does. I need to be able to speak to that. And if you don't have them and you're not using them, or at least putting them on defense to see what the team comps are, then you just don't know. Your ignorance is vaster than I would prefer mine to be. So,
Mhm.
in terms of territory wars, what would really make me more interested in it is if they gave it a more individual cast to it, I guess. There was one time recently where we weren't going to beat our territory war opponents, and they had 13 General Grievous teams left
Mhm.
with Droideka in one of the zones. And so I decided I was just going to try to kill all 13.
Oh, nice.
I wish I had recorded it because it was pretty fun. Like some of them I used Galactic Legends, it was easy. Some of them were multi-shot messes. It was a lot of fun though, and a couple people from their guild even mentioned, "Oh, we really enjoyed watching you just dismantle the rest of our grievances."
But that
But
like makes it more fun, right?
well, I felt like I had a personal impact on it. I actually did something that was impactful as opposed to, hey guys, I just killed this really high relic, really awesome Jabba team with Embocron and all the relics, all the everything madness. We killed it, and everyone says, "Dude, could you shut up? We have 49 left."
Right.
Like, who even cares? That's a drop in the bucket. Just
Right.
do your attacks and shut the hell up.
Hmm. There's
And
49 more to go.
Uh, if they
In
made a
fact, can you
personal,
kill a second?
yeah, what, you only killed one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so for me to feel like I want to feel like I'm contributing, and so I think if they made it a little more dynamic, where and I've said this on other places, but I think if they split up territory wars to be more like, okay, you split it into you have 5 different squads or 10 different squads, and then each squad is placed against another territory war squad, against your opponent's squad, and you're warring for echo base, and
Mhm.
so you get the hangar, you get the ion cannon, you get, and each of the places, maybe they have bonuses, maybe they don't, I don't really care, but then it would be me and my group of people
Mhm.
against their group of people. And even if my guild just gets destroyed overall, maybe I can claw my way to my squad getting the
Right.
win.
Right.
Somewhere where people say, "Oh man, I'm paired with Zareth. This is going to be tougher than I imagined."
Right.
That to me that would be what I want. I want it to feel more like I'm part of it.
Right. It's just slightly more individualized.
Yeah, I'd get totally into that. I would love. I think I would enjoy that just as much as GAC. But
Hmm.
as it is so unpersonal. So it feels like one of those old wars. You're I don't know how much you know about American history, honestly, but like the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, where everyone just marches their soldiers up, and you have flutes playing and drums in the background, and everyone just lines up and takes turns shooting at each other. And you
Yeah.
just stand still. Please don't hit me. Oh, I died. No one cares. Because their team is shooting too. Oh, look at
Mhm.
him. He died too. Hey, look, I got a recording of me shooting Zareth prevails in his team. Of me destroying Zareth's alt.
Mhm.
Okay, congratulations. I don't care.
Good job.
Like, did you mean to click on me, or were you just so bored that you clicked on whatever team and it happened to be mine? 'Cause that's what I do. It's just boring, man. It's so boring. And now we're at the stage where we're gonna have super teams and territory wars a ton too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a terrifying thought.
It's just not fun, man. It's not. And the disparity of Omicrons is so crazy too.
Hmm.
If you don't have about the same number of territory war Omicrons, then get the hell out. Why are you even bothering?
Right.
Why try?
Yeah. It makes a huge difference.
Crazy difference, yeah. As for the other game modes for me to be into, I kind of like Conquest, but it's just a lot of time.
It is.
You know what would take me for me to get real into Conquest is if everyone wanted to watch me stream it, but they don't. Then I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't blame him either.
Yep.
I don't even stream it.
Well, I bet you get some people watching.
I have had people ask me to stream it, and this was like when Conquest was still newer. Like not brand new, but newer.
Mm-hmm.
And has not has not happened. I feel like people just don't care. And also I think a lot of people with Conquest, it's kind of a little bit of the same where you know the strategy, to get in, get your discs sorted
Mm-hmm.
and bludgeon your way through.
Bludgeon is the best. We should do a stream together sometime and just do. You can explain your method of conquest. You can do
Mhm.
it on Professor X, so then we both have a stake in it.
Of why I do it the way I do it.
Yeah, so we can all watch your approach, and I could just make snide comments because I'm super bored. It'll be great.
I will say a lot of people finish Conquest so quickly, which I think is twofold. One, just they're just bludgeoning like crazy, but also they're doing more refreshes than I do. Um, and I'm just so methodical about how I do Conquest that I'm like, I can't do it like that. I have to
Yeah, I've noticed
actually
that about you.
I have to actually like speed it up next conquest cycle just because of what I have going on. And it's making me nervous. Like it's giving me like already I feel like I have anxiety building just from being like, oh, I'm gonna have to like go outside of my methodical way of handling this game mode.
That's fair. That's fair. That would be fun to see what your approach to things is, but yeah, it's I just want to get done with it. I just want to be done. I'm usually done within a week on any of my accounts.
Mhm.
I tend to be way more efficient than I imply. I say that I bludgeon, but I tend to I can. I mean, especially with my main account, if you have everything, it's pretty
Yeah.
easy to just destroy. I keep waiting for there to be an extra hard mode released for it or something.
God, don't say that.
Okay, I won't say it, but I am waiting for it.
They have to revamp the rewards around. It would just be a whole thing.
I know it makes me tired, but what do you think they could do to refresh Conquest? What would make Conquest exciting again? Because I know you like it on a
Yes.
lot of levels,
Mhm.
and I'm so happy you do. Like, just I like you. I want you to be happy, just in general, and then also for selfish reasons because you helped me on Professor X with it. But genuinely,
Yeah.
I do. I'm glad that some people like Conquest. Honestly, I like it too. It stresses me out because it's a lot of time
It is a
sometimes.
lot of time. And
Um,
I
what
think
would be interesting for you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no. I think so there are two things that I think would be interesting. One, and I don't know how you go about this, but like I think a lot of people, myself included, feel like the first conquest is of a new series is fun because you've got the new feats to figure out. Usually there's new data discs, or they've swapped some in and out that you're trying to find the right sets for.
The first one is way more engaging. I will say that.
Yeah, so you're going through it. The second one, you have it down. You know what you're looking for right away. You can be way more efficient and it's good. By the third one, I'm bored with it. I don't want to do the same feats. I don't want to look for the same discs. I want something new already. So I feel like I would just like it in two cycles instead of three. Um, but I don't know how you handle that with the shards and the way that they have it all finangled right now. So there's that. Another thing that I think would be interesting, and I think this would be really good for just like time spent in game, and I've seen this idea floated around and I thought it was cool, was if you get, and they sort of did this with the Conquest Pass Plus, where they'll give you like the consumable towards a couple of the feats.
I
So you
like
don't
it.
I like it too. Um, I've seen a few people say like if you get red crate on the first one, they should let you pick one of the feats that you did the last time as just like automatically done. Um, the next time that you do it. And I was like, that would be a good way to just help with the time management because you've already proven that you can do it.
True. They just want that engagement. They want you to spend crystals to do it.
Totally. Which I mean, and I don't know. I obviously know not everyone is of this mindset because I found out this week that were people encouraging their guild mates not to invest into datacrons. Uh, but I feel like I would still spend.
I bet they said data cons.
They probably did. Oh, so this is actually a perfect example because this last conquest we had the web store pack for Conquest Energy. So I was still very methodical about how I did things, but I ended up finishing earlier than usual because of the extra
That's what she
energy.
said.
Because of the extra
Because of the
energy.
extra
Yeah.
energy or something else. Yeah.
Um, so oh man, I finished earlier than usual, but I still went and did the crystal refreshes every day for the Datacron materials. So they were still getting the same crystals out of me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think they're still getting a lot of crystals.
So yeah.
Would you be okay if they sold a pack
Hmm.
for $100, $150, something, instant red crate?
And you'd have to buy it every conquest.
Yep.
Well, it's interesting. So what does that get you though? Does that get you instant red crate? The track is finished, like the reward track is
Right.
finished. Do you get the conquest currency that
Mm-hmm.
you would collect?
You'd
Um,
have to work it all out. I think the biggest thing would be you're not missing out on the character unlock at least.
hmm.
You're for sure unlocking the character after 3, and then maybe some prizes are mixed in as well. But
Hmm.
yeah, because you're right that the track gives Omicrons, it gives
Right.
a lot of stuff that's pretty helpful.
Well, I'm also thinking you could theoretically argue like how much is your time worth? Do you do that
Yeah.
$100, get red crate instantly? You have 2 weeks of essentially just doing whatever you want in game now because you've got it
Mm-hmm.
red crate done. And then the next two conquests, do you just go for gold crate and buying the character shards off of the scavengers and you still unlock in 3? Because
I don't
getting
know.
gold crate is significantly less grindy for most
True.
players than going for red.
Stop asking me questions. It is my question.
So I'm just curious.
We really need to move to the next question.
We do. Okay.
Just idly asking you about conquest things.
Okay, so next viewer question, and then, half an hour into this, we can get into the rest of the topics.
It's already been half an hour
Great.
almost.
Uh, sacrilegely, I think I said that right.
I hope you didn't continue.
Thank you. Would you like to see more neutral characters? Would you like to see any existing characters relabeled as neutral? For lore and or game mechanic purposes? And do we have any predictions for the next neutral character and when, if we ever get one?
Do you want to answer that first?
Um, I'm intrigued by it, but I think I'm mostly just intrigued by it because they put the tag in game for so long before we had Hondo. And now I'm kind of like thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know who else I would add to neutral.
Yeah, the initial neutral tag, you know why it's there?
I feel like I do, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was released when Jedi Revan was released, and they wished that they had the option to give it to T3
Ah,
because T3 in the game was fine with you being dark side or light side. It just
hmm.
kind of went with your team, but they didn't have the tag, so they'd already released the character and they weren't going to change his alignment
Hmm.
afterward, but they added the tag because one of the developers really wanted the option in the future.
Ah, okay. And now we've got it for Hondo.
And that's it.
I don't know who else you add to it. And I don't know if it's necessary to add anyone else.
Yeah, well, it's a tricky thing. It's because it could be interesting. It could be. We talked about design space a little bit on my segment, and
Mhm.
you could maybe make one squad with design space stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is just neutral, but it is such a pain in the ass, honestly, to work around all of these things because Datacrons are light or dark side.
Right.
And a ton of characters are specifically light or specifically dark, and they don't work with the other ones well. And if you have neutral there, it just ruins it because it just treats them like their dark side if you have a light side character that only wants light side on there.
Right. Even though they're not dark side.
Right. So it to me, more neutral would be more pain in the ass,
I also
frankly.
feel like it would just require, like, to get around that, there would just be so much work on the opposite end of it of just coding it. So it's like, okay, if all allies are light side or neutral, or like, or like going in and adding that to a bunch of kits or whatever would just be such a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if we need any more neutral.
probably not.
Not something that this is exactly the same thing as like the daily deals scenario for me where I felt left out and I wanted them and now they're here and I don't buy them. And you know what? We had the neutral tag, no one was in it. Now Hondo's there and that's fine. I don't need any more.
I thought Afro would be perfect for
Right.
neutral.
I think a
I
lot of
was
people expected her to be neutral.
I thought for sure she would be because she's very neutral in the comics. She'll
Mhm.
work with Vader, but then she'll turn around and work with Luke. Even if she's not that kind to Luke, she doesn't always just do awful things all the time. She's got a good side ish.
Right.
She's very neutral, I thought. But yeah, I don't know who else. I mean, Afro. I would rather have characters honestly, because I like Datacrons. If they released enough neutral characters that we started having light side, dark side, and neutral Datacrons as possible alignments, I think I would really hate that.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah,
No.
three different factions, alignments. I don't prefer that. So if
No.
they do add another neutral, I guess I won't be that angry. But I hope they don't. I hope they don't treat them like UFUs. Lately, we've just had a whole flood of
Mm-hmm.
UFUs join the game.
Yep. That's a good point. Enough of
But
that.
when they first created that faction, they were just a bunch of kind of randoms.
I know. Now there's a whole faction within the faction.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. All right. Well, shall we go into the game?
Yeah, I've only done it for 33 minutes so far. We're good.
All right. So let's quickly look at this pack because there's a pack that I picked, believe it or not.
Oh, I have to go into the game.
I
Whoa,
know.
madness.
I know. Life is difficult. There it is. Okay. So it's this Scoundrel Squad bundle pack. I hadn't seen it before.
Oh, so I thought it was going to be the Boosh one.
No.
You realize that Boosh one has Omicrons in it, right?
Does it? Hmm. 5 of them. That's decent. I mean, there's not going to be much time left on it by the time this airs, but 5 Omicrons for $40. What was that?
40 Canadian dollars.
40 Canadian.
30 real dollars.
How much is the Omicron pack when they have the like, is it 10 that's in them?
Yeah, I think it's $30 for 10. So $60 for. Oh, so if you reverse, yeah, so it would be $30 for $30 for 10 of them, as
Mhm.
opposed to this one would be $30 for 5
Right.
plus the character shards and whatever random crap gear you get.
Right. So decent if you need the character shards.
Sure.
Not decent if you only want Omicrons.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Um, I but not the pack that I picked. I picked this one, the Scoundrel Squad bundle, which is $20 American.
All right. Let's see it.
So it gets you, first of all, I found it really funny because it it tells you that you get 15 pieces of each core gear salvage, but it shows 30. So who knows what you actually get? I'm assuming it's 30 because it's all doubled with the gear changes.
Sure.
But you get 25 of each of these shards. You get 25 Dash, 25 Young Han, uh, 25 Vandor, and 25 L3. So I was like, if you need all of these characters, it seems like a decent price to get shards for all of them.
Yeah, I wonder how it sells. That's the kind of pack that you buy and feel unfulfilled from, because what does that
Yeah.
really do for you?
Well, that's the thing, right? Because you're not going up a star in anyone.
Right. Exactly. Even if you have them all unlocked at 3 stars, you're not even going up to 4 stars.
The thing that is interesting to me is if you're farming Dash, chances are you're farming for Star Killer. So you're also looking for Mara and Talon, all these characters that aren't here. So it feels like you're getting shards for two separate farms in a way.
Yeah, well, and how much are you really going to use Young Han? I barely use him.
True.
Very rarely. He
True.
just
He's
he
not he's not needed for anything, right? For anyone. I mean, he's needed for I think a special mission,
Rise of the
but
Empire, yeah, but
he's not
otherwise,
needed for an unlock.
right. I would argue that Vander Chewie is pretty mandatory
Yeah.
alongside Dash, but
Yep.
the other two are pretty skippable for a while. I like L3 as a pre-taunt and all that, but you could avoid gearing her for a while for sure.
hmm So it's just a meh.
Well, besides Dash, none of them are required, and then it's a bunch of core gear that you're farming. I would say pass. Honestly,
Well,
there's like almost nothing here that's that appealing.
it's gear also that like depending where you are in terms of your guild with raids, you should be getting a decent amount of this through the rage store as well. If you
Right.
really needed to like buy more of it.
I will say my little account still needs all this stuff pretty badly,
Right.
but not badly enough to spend $20 to get not even enough for a complete piece.
Fair. Fair. So meh.
Pretty big meh
All right.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Should we go look at a character?
sure.
We can hustle to the roster roast.
It's an
So,
annoying character.
uh let's look at Baby Cal.
I can see that you're not going to be working on getting us into Zepho, this territory battle.
I used Jedi Cal and I beat the mission.
Oh yeah, I always forget you have Jedi Cal. You don't sign up for GAC, and I just forget that he's even there
Rude.
for you.
Rude. Um, yeah, I
Baby
already did it.
Cal. Yeah,
So,
why do you have him relict? Oh, so you can go on your Malicos Seer team, maybe.
yeah, and then I can use a Datacron.
Okay,
Because this set you only need Relic 1.
that's true. Kind of. You can use a bad Datacron.
Correct. And I mean,
I think it's a thick cron is still fine. Level
I
3.
can't.
Oh, you can't
I
use a thick
can't.
cron with him.
I can't. And I can't take them any higher because I have literally 0 carbonite circuit boards.
Can we see how
I'm
destitute is your
I'm pretty
store?
sure
Is
it's
your
like 0, 0.
emergency
Oh
store?
no. Okay. I don't know what I
Eh,
converted, but we've got 33.
well, how much do you need to convert? Like, what's the?
I don't remember.
How are you doing this the hard way? Okay, you still have some in case of emergency.
Yeah. I don't like to dip too low in this stuff though.
How? Keep scrolling. I want to see the whole thing. I'm just being nosy. Keep going.
Nosy.
Yeah. All right. Very well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your time
So
is important to us.
please remain on the line. Back to the character review.
Very well.
So, yeah, so I relicked him because I wanted to put him with Seer, to stick him with Malicos and see how that goes. Um, and then I will probably take him higher. I'm gonna see what the deal. I want to see how things shake out because chances are I'm probably gonna have to give him an Omicron and Fulcrum an Omicron,
Yeah.
which means I need to give him more relics and her. So
Yeah. You're screwing our guild if you don't. Just kidding. I'm not doing it yet. So,
rude.
what does he do?
He does stuff and things. I know. So his basic, it's all about like intervals with his. I think it's his health or
Yeah.
yeah. Um, which I hate, by the way, because it's just too much to remember.
This is the most useless thing ever because he's never below any of these health thresholds because he has so much bonus protection that he never
Right.
gets there. And you kind of rejoice if you could do that to your opponent. Like he's the character. I lost a cleanup attempt on. I killed most of a team, but then
Mm-hmm.
I left him alive, and he just keeps everyone alive because he gives them all this bonus protection. And if you don't have something that stops that, some kind
Right.
of ability block or sorry buff immunity or healing immunity in some case, like you just can't kill him. You can't kill that guy, even if he doesn't have a leader with him. It's a whole big mess. So
Mm-hmm.
he's impressive like that. He's very timeout. He has a lot of timeout potential. But
Okay.
this is worthless. The wallable. Just don't even think about that. In my
Yeah.
opinion, just think of it as sometimes he has to do a basic, and it can do defense down and speed down sometimes.
Right. Goody. And then you've got his dispel with his little droid.
Yeah, and it kind of heals people.
Yeah. Nothing crazy. Protection. Um, oh, I didn't realize he gave them critical hit immunity if they were full health and protection.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice too because all of these things are buffs that you can eventually hand to Fulcrum.
Right. So that's a huge thing with her territory war.
Right. Well, with her ability to, she takes
Yeah.
all the buffs and then turns them into damage.
Yeah. I just meant with like her Omicron and his Omicron basically working in tandem.
Oh, sure.
And then you get debuffs, I guess, from his special
Yeah,
and
and
some
you
buffs.
gain all enemies. Let's see, yeah, speed down, tenacity down on all enemies for 2 turns, and all allies gain more buffs. So he goes really nicely with Fulcrum Soga.
Yeah.
You're always looking for how many buffs is this team putting out for Fulcrum to blender someone with.
Mm-hmm. Goody. Yeah. So just
Goody.
buffs, protection, all that fun
Yeah,
stuff. And then he's got his, what is it called? Persistence? Whatever his thing is.
I am persistent.
Oh yeah. I guess that's what it would be called then.
Here, click on 7.
All right.
So
Uh,
where does it say the persistent thing?
there it
There
is.
you go.
Persistence. Which is oh, it's all based off stacks again. Just
It could be fairly devastating, actually.
uh, okay, so first he's gonna gain foresight. Then and these stack, right? So like if you would get like all of the tiers if you had the 30 stacks,
Yep, the stack.
right?
I think so. Yep.
And then there's more protection up, like you were saying. Um, okay, yeah, ability block, buff immunity on all enemies for 2 turns. That's gross.
And it can't be resisted, so you don't have to have potency on it.
Right. And all allies gain 50% turn meter.
Yeah, it's like a
Weird.
passive ult, kind of passive mini ult.
Yeah.
It,
100% turn meter if it's a light side unaligned force user.
yeah, it's dirty, man.
So Fulcrum gets 100% turn meter and then just consumes all her buffs and whirlwinds somebody,
Yeah.
theoretically.
Yeah, you can't control it though. That's the thing. You don't push a button for it to go off, so it might
Mm-hmm.
go off at a weird time. Fulcrum might have just used her really awesome ability.
Good point.
Yeah, you can't really. I guess we have the little turn meter slide thing, but that thing doesn't always work anyways. It's hard to predict who's going next. But yeah, this is what makes him good too.
Yeah.
He's yeah. So what's the top part here?
Um,
Yeah, so if the ally is also a light side or dark side unaligned, yeah, so he starts with all this bonus health and everything and
yeah.
tenacity. Whenever an ally is critically hit, they and Cal recover health and protection. See, he's recovering health the whole time, so how is he going to be under those weird health constraints? It's baffling. Health and protection. If the ally is also an UFU, they and Cal gain protection up 10% stacking.
For
Meh.
2 turns.
Yeah, for 2
Yeah,
turns.
so and then you're getting this persistence thing anytime a special ability is used by another character.
Yeah, that's what makes him good. If you could somehow chop his unique off of him, he wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be worth a damn. But his unique does make him fairly good with whatever squad he's in, as long as he's in an UFU squad that can use it. That's why he's good with Ray, for instance,
Right,
because she's an UFU.
right. Um, I'm curious about this for him gaining persistence because I haven't actually noticed this. Because it says each other character using a special ability. So if the enemies are using special abilities, is he gaining persistence?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
So he's gonna get there pretty fast.
yeah. It's just hard to predict exactly because, especially because your opponents are doing basics a lot and stuff.
Right.
You just don't
Theoretically.
know. You just don't know when they are. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
I feel like he just slots in nicely, like you said with Ray, but also just I think he's gonna fit good with Malikos.
Well, I really like him with Starkiller. You
Mhm.
just event
Mm.
eventually you have to put him with Seer. I think his home is with Seer. That he's designed to go with Seer,
Yeah.
and then that so that. But as a stopgap, if you just have him, but you don't have a Seer squad ready, then he's great to just hang out with Starkiller for a while. In my opinion, he's the number one option, unless you want to do like Cat or something,
Right.
as the in the light side Ufu spot.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, he's a fairly obnoxious fellow.
Sweet. Well, um, do we want to roast a roster?
Sure, I don't know
Now,
if we have time, but let's do it.
now that we're pushing an hour?
Yeah, we've
Ooh.
got 12 minutes till we get there.
Oh, good. Okay. Let's see if we can bang this out quickly.
That's what.
uh, all right. I think I put this ally code in right. Yes, I did. Okay.
Let's just
So
roast a random person.
this is a free to play alt account. So it's warnings free to play alt account. Uh, and I think it's almost 3 years old.
Okay. Obsidian.
Mm-hmm. And he is 6.1 million GP.
Anerodium 2. Alright, that's
Mm-hmm.
about the right range, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. All right.
He's got Cat. Good for him.
So ship-wise, got a purple Akbar.
He's got 7 fleets.
7. How many are there? 11? I ask this every week.
Count, Sarah. Just kidding. Yeah, 11. So he's missing Radis.
Uh,
Oh no, he's missing 2 good. He's missing Finalizer as well.
okay. Finalizer, Radis, Leviathan.
And then
Profundity?
2 of the good ones. Yeah.
Okay. Man. All right. That's a sad Lando's Falcon. Just all around. Level 1 pilots, level 1 ship.
You need it for the Radis unlock.
Yeah.
That is sad. TIE Dagger. I mean, it's unlocked. I guess that's decent. TIE Sith Fighter. Okay. We're
A lot of these
seeing.
pilots are just sad though.
Resistance X-Wing is so farmable. It's in the War Store.
Mm-hmm.
So easy. He's just...
Man. Interceptor's not done.
He's that guy who won't get Rey because he hates Rose.
Level
I
1
don't...
Ray's Falcon. Yeah, he's not getting Ray. He can't get Radis.
Alright. Bad Big, so he doesn't have Jedi Master Luke.
Dang. Vulture Droid and Hyena are just sitting there, not done. I'm sure you're loving this.
He's got a 7-star, or he's got a Relic 7 Grievous, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good Malevolence fleet. Like, I just, it baffles me.
Well, you can't say he has a good Malevolence fleet. He has a good Malevolence.
You're right. You're right.
I love being right.
I know.
Oh, man. Battle B2?
Silencer, but oh gosh. Okay. This is...
Hey, his
so,
Rebel Y-Wing's done.
could you count the stars for us, please, Sarah?
Don't patronize me. Oh, man.
Look at the V28.
I know. 4 stars.
Okay, so he's
This
got...
is just funny
he's
when you
got
get into relic pilots.
shit for fleets. Got it.
Yeah.
Why
okay.
did you finish the Outrider? You're not trying to farm anything else good. So what's the point, man?
Man. Okay.
I just...
Okay.
Oh, so this is why he's in Erodium 2. It's not like there's a lot of engagement. There's some people who are very engaged in Erodium 2, and even lower. But the reason you can't get past that wall, if you can't stay in Kyber, is because your fleets are total ass, and you can't win in Kyber without having good fleets, because you need 6 fleets minimum.
Right. Man.
And you can barely call what you have right now fleets, except for Executor, which you probably just place on defense so that your opponents can't clear you. And that keeps you in Erodium.
Man. All right.
Maybe one day this guy will get good. He does engage in Datacrons, which is a positive for him.
I'm kind of surprised.
Me too.
So, okay.
He must be doing Conquest. We should see if he has Malgus.
Okay. So
He does. He does have Malgus, but he's not going to get Leviathan.
Oh. No.
Why would you get Leviathan? All right, two GLs.
2 GLs. Sword by speed?
Yes, please.
All right.
Oh yeah, I was telling Jensik the Bearded I stole this game from him, so I shouted him out a couple times before. I probably won't shout him out every time, but huge shout out to Jensik the Bearded and
The 300 game?
yeah, the 300 game. Yeah, they do this on their streams. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. This is an alt, so I don't know.
So he puts
much?
he puts some work into Datacrons. It seems like he's intentional about some things. He just is disdainful of fleets to a foolish degree.
And I feel like this speed order isn't bad.
It's not bad.
All right. Well, there's their purple grief. Yikes.
It really just comes to an abrupt halt, doesn't it?
Ouch. Okay. I guess we know that. All right.
That is so sad.
It is
That's the other
sad.
it's the other reason you can't get out of Erodium.
Okay.
I feel like Yoda every time. That is why you fail. That's why no one will remember your name. All right.
Okay.
I'll say Watt.
Okay. I was gonna say Fallen Basti.
Oh man, you are generous.
I know, I'm realizing how far down I just went, so
No take backsies. Let's see it.
no Davis. Here's what. Oh no. 286.
Oh my.
Oh dear.
Did I say something past Watt? I did. Holy cow. Okay.
Yikes. Should I see
How?
how fast he's
Yeah,
going?
let's see it. Let's see it.
And then we can go
We were
find
way
this
too
for her.
generous here.
Oh man. 273. Yikes.
uh,
Oh my gosh. Okay. Where do we
I
think
guess,
it is?
I guess
Shock?
with grief being that ass, we shouldn't have assumed that Bosk would be fast.
Okay, Shock's 313. Yeah,
Why do you want Shock to be fast? Oh, probably. I wonder if he's doing the Geo mission. Or
oh.
the what's it called?
But it's not that time of the week yet.
Oh, maybe he just permanently has him on because he doesn't want to
30
remod.
302 on Bosk.
Okay. How
So
close? Oh, I'm getting pretty close here. Come on, Luke. Be 300.
301.
All right, Padme. Be 3. That way. I'm just one off.
288. That's a steep drop.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Man.
Bunch of weird priority. I mean, decent speed priorities here, but not very many fast characters.
Yeah. Fair.
Can we look at their smugglers real quick?
Yeah.
I want to see if they have Vander Chewy. Kind of.
Sort of. Wow, that is a lot of not done smugglers. Oof. I feel like there are smugglers missing here.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't. I don't care enough to check.
Um,
Probably. Well, Jabba obviously.
wow.
He
Yeah.
smuggles snacks.
Right.
But
Smuggle snacks. Ah. Oh, okay. Well, clearly not going after Jabba though.
clearly not choosing good choices. All right, I just wanted to
Okay.
see their vendor. It looks like they put he's the fourth best smuggler on the team, which is
Uh,
not saying much.
do you want to look at anything in particular other than smugglers?
Oh, jeez.
What? Wait, hang on. What GLs do we have? C and Kenobi.
Such a weird combination, though.
It is.
Fine. It's fine.
Let's see Jedi.
He's clearly doing fine here. Jolie and Basti and Old Ben. Oh.
Man, they're sad.
He's not helping his guild. No Juhani.
Cam's 4-starred.
Does he have... He does have Star Killer. I remember he was one of the options. So... Alright.
Yeah. Okay.
Clearly he doesn't care about Krons enough to get his Qui-Gon to Relic 5. Or is that 5? And I'm just
That's
going
3.
crazy. I need a new glasses prescription. I've realized lately.
It's 3.
Let's look at his Phoenix just out of
Out of
curiosity. Okay, let's move on. He has a 5-star Gear 1 Rex. Go figure.
Let's just
Probably
see.
just because of the random additive drops.
Okay. Yeah, actually that was probably what did it.
Oh, how's his Kieti Mundi? I want to see if his guild is doing Geonosis.
It's 4 stars. Level 85 though, so there's that.
Hey,
Not level 1 like these other scrubs.
level 85 isn't enough to make him worth more than Gear 1 level 1 Kit Fisto.
I know. Ah, that's sad.
Kit Fisto looks like he's been possessed. Did you ever look at his eyes?
He does. It's so creepy. They're like blacked out.
Yeah.
I want to see. I mean, I know grief is purple, but it's basically just, oh,
Oh.
yep. So it's just like executor.
All
Okay.
right. You've inflicted enough wounds on me today.
Okay.
We have gone 1 hour. I'm pulling the plug.
All right.
Look at this. Hold on. Look at this
Yeah.
sad part first. Just do this to me.
Just
Make me hate my life. I'm just gonna end it at some point. You won't even know
ah.
when.
Oh man, look at that armor.
No Inquisition, no armor, no Hux. Everyone's just. This is the
Wow.
island of neglect.
What's that?
Hey, a shiny gear or a shiny level 85 Mundi.
This is like the island of lost boys or whatever it's called.
Misfit toys.
Misfit toys. Same thing.
Lost boys, sure.
I'm just
Keep
mashing.
going. I'm gonna turn this off soon.
Oh man. Oh, look at that dark trooper.
Hey, BB-8's unlocked.
Ooh. I'm sad.
Good.